In Cunnell's village, Christmas was never just a celebration. It was a return, a reckoning, a reminder. People could leave for years, build lives elsewhere, gather wealth and titles, but when December arrived, the village called them back. And when it did, it remembered everything they tried to forget. Cunnell had stayed away for 12 years. In Lagos, life had been easy, fast, polished, profitable. No one asked where he came from or what he had left behind. But that year, the message from home was firm. There would be a festival, a gathering of sons and daughters of the land. Attendance was not optional. So Cunnell returned. And this time, he did not come alone. He arrived with his wife, Vanessa. Vanessa stepped out of the car and paused. The road was dusty. Goats wandered freely. Children stared openly. The air smelled of firewood and earth. She looked at Cunnell, uncertain. "This is where you grew up?" Cunnell nodded. "This is home." Vanessa smiled, but it was the kind of smile people wear when they are uncomfortable. She adjusted her hair, wiped invisible dust from her clothes, and followed him inside the compound where whispers had already begun. The villagers noticed everything. Her polished accent, her long nails, the way she looked around as though the place might stain her. That evening, the chief called the people together. Cunnell stood among them, uneasy but silent. Vanessa stayed close to him, arms folded, eyes alert. Then the chief spoke. "This young man," he said, pointing forward, "is Cunnell's first son." The world seemed to stop. Vanessa laughed, sharp and sudden. "That's impossible," she said. "This must be a joke." No one laughed with her. The boy stood calmly, tall, quiet. His eyes held Cunnell's gaze without fear. His name was Sadiq. Behind him stood Abini. She wore no jewelry, no makeup, just a simple wrapper and a steady expression that held years of truth. Vanessa's smile faded. Cunnell felt his chest tighten. He knew, in that moment, that the past he had ignored had finally caught up with him. Vanessa expected outrage, denial, chaos. Instead, the village absorbed the revelation with a strange calm, as though it had been waiting. She did not leave. She stayed. And staying changed everything. The next morning, she woke coughing. Smoke from cooking fires drifted into the room, clinging to her hair and clothes. Outside, women were already awake, moving with purpose. Pots clanged. Laughter carried across the compound. Vanessa stepped out, irritated. "This place never rests," she muttered. The women heard her. They always did. Later that day, they gathered. Older women, younger women, mothers, wives, daughters of the land. They stood together, watching Vanessa carefully. One woman spoke plainly. "If you wish to remain here as a wife, you must learn our way." Vanessa laughed nervously. "I'm not sure you understand." "We understand," the woman interrupted. "You will learn." The first lesson was water. They handed her a bucket and pointed towards the stream. Vanessa stared at the bucket as though it were a mistake. "I've never done this before," she said. "You will today." The walk was longer than she expected. The bucket heavier. Sweat ran down her face, smudging her makeup. By the time she returned, her arms ached and her confidence had softened. The next lesson was firewood. She struggled to light the fire. The smoke stung her eyes. A spark burned her finger and she cried out. The women laughed, not cruelly, but knowingly. "Fire teaches patience," one said. Cooking followed. She stirred too quickly. Added salt twice. Dropped a spoon. Pepper made her eyes water. Someone joked, "Are you cooking or arguing with the pot?" For the first time, Vanessa did not respond sharply. That evening, something unexpected happened. A young girl approached her quietly. She could not have been more than 8. "Auntie," the girl said, "your nails are very long." Vanessa smiled despite herself. "Yes. Do you like them?" The girl shook her head. "How do you wash your hands?" The question stayed with Vanessa. That night, she lay awake, listening to the sounds of the village. Crickets. Distant laughter. The quiet rhythm of a place that moved without her approval. She thought about Sadiq. About Abini. About the life she had walked into without understanding. On Christmas morning, the women made their decision. She will cook today. Vanessa felt her stomach drop. She stood before the fire, surrounded by women, children watching closely. Kunal stood back, uncertain. Abini was nearby, calm as ever. Vanessa opened her mouth to protest. But something else came out. "I don't know how to cook." Her voice trembled. "I never learned. I thought it didn't matter." The village went silent. "I thought it made me important to avoid these things," she continued. "I was wrong." She turned to Abini. "Please, teach me." Abini stepped forward without hesitation. "We will do it together," she said. They cooked side by side. Vanessa learned to move more slowly, to listen, to laugh at her mistakes. The women joined in, correcting her, teasing her, encouraging her. Children sang. Pots simmered. The fire burned steadily. When they ate, Vanessa sat on a low stool, eating with her hands. Sauce stained her fingers and nails. She laughed freely, surprised by how little it mattered. For the first time, she felt included. Later that afternoon, another twist unfolded. An elderly woman approached Vanessa quietly. "I was like you once," she said. "I came from the city with pride in my heart. This village humbled me. It saved my marriage." Vanessa listened carefully. That evening, she found Sadiq sitting alone. "I don't know what kind of mother you expected," she said gently. "But I want to try." Sadiq nodded. "That's enough." As night fell, drums echoed through the village. Children slept in clusters. Women shared stories. Kunal watched his family come together in ways he had never planned. Vanessa leaned towards him. "I thought I married a man," she said softly. "I didn't realize I married a whole history." Kunal smiled. "That history is still writing itself." Vanessa looked around the village, no longer with judgment, but with understanding. "This life," she said, "is not worse. It's just honest." And in that moment, she finally understood what Christmas truly meant. Not gifts, not appearances, but truth, belonging, and the courage to learn, even when it is uncomfortable. Sometimes, Christmas is not about celebration. Sometimes, it is about truth, about facing where we come from, and learning how to live with those we did not expect. Vanessa arrived with pride. She stayed long enough to find humility. And in that village, she learned something many never do. That belonging is not bought. It is learned. If this story moved you, or reminded you of home, or made you see family a little differently, please like this video. It helps the channel grow and allows more stories like this to be shared. If you enjoy meaningful stories about family, culture, and hidden truths, subscribe and turn on notifications. And I'd love to hear from you. Do you think you could survive a village Christmas? Leave a comment below. Thank you for listening.